Hi, everybody. My name is Dr. Ramona, and I'm here again with my sister, Dr. Renee. And this time we're on week number 11 of our pineal gland inspired journal. Our theme this week is Inspire Yourself.
We are so close. Consistent, continuous practice really has an effect on the body, mind, spirit. So here are our experiences in week 11. Let's go.
Okay, we're back. The process hasn't changed much for both Dr. Renee and me. So we'll just move right on. Our intention this week is allow and explore, which segues right with our theme, inspire yourself, right? So what has your experience been this week?
I started out the week feeling like my cerebral spinal fluid was really fully activated. And you know how I'm learning to perceive color. I'm seeing this bluesy fog, which I've now identified as bluesy fog, and it morphs back into the yellow gamma sprites. But what was interesting is that what I'm seeing through the yellow gamma sprites is this starry universe. But the universe with the little stars all over it is surrounded by that yellow light. And what's happening is that, or at least what happened this week, is that it felt like an aperture, like it was a third eye aperture that was opening and closing as I was becoming more aware, or at
Really?
least. And so I thought, okay, so I'm seeing this. I wanted to go and explore it. But the minute I said I want to really go into it, it starts to close. And so I said, oh, I stop that. Stop thinking, drop the analytical mind. And then it, thank goodness, just opened back up again. So I could just sit and appreciate and love it and be in joy with this aperture effect. And that
Wow.
was wonderful. But it was interesting to note how it changed its shape with the state of the mind, essentially, the state of the consciousness. You really need to be distanced from it in order to truly go into the quantum.
I think that's one of the things we've been learning. This idea of getting that gap, that distance, is helped by an activated PG gland because it, with its advanced supercharged metabolites, one of those things that it does, of course, is to help us to desensitize the amygdala, right? And if we're
Yeah.
not as emotionally charged, then we are more distant. But you know what? Meditation also does that. One of the
Yeah.
effects of meditation, even in the short term, 6 weeks, which says can produce that blessing. And I think we're experiencing that. When you talked about this opening and closing in prior weeks, remember how I was telling you about I was feeling the waves of energy coming towards me? That to me is a indication of moving into the
Yeah.
quantum, right?
Absolutely.
Moving into the quantum. And I feel it like Han Solo moving into hyperdrive.
Like into a wormhole. Uh-huh.
Yes, exactly, because I can see an increase in the density almost of those sprites. And then I'm moving into a deeper space. I meant I'm moving into something.
Yeah.
I have that feeling of distance.
Yourself and into more, excuse me, into more of a unity space. Those are the words that I feel when I'm experiencing that. So I give that to you and we can share that. As the week moved on, there was pollen in the air again, and I had this headache again. This time, though, I think the last time was right side, but this time it was behind my left eye. And so I had to be really subtle and soft again with bringing the energy up the spine and into the pineal gland because the area was already so sensitized. And it took about 3 full tracks. So I'd say almost 15 minutes of the 40 minutes that I'm there just to train sensitivity up into the higher frequencies that were being brought in by the activation of the gland. But it took a while and I had to do it really softly because it was painful. But then it just entrained it and wiped it from the brain.
When we've had clients and they've had these migraines, what we do
Mhm.
is to smooth out the biofield, right?
Right.
That's another way of saying we're entraining
A higher energy into their field, or at least we're channeling a higher energy into their field softly, especially when you have the patients who have the headaches that have spikes in them. And you use your hands to try to find where that spike is and then softly integrate it into a higher frequency, a softer
yes,
frequency.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly what we've been doing from that vantage point as practitioners. And now we have this additional knowledge base that sort of melds with that
Yeah.
beautifully.
Melding science with ancient wisdom.
Right.
Okay, so
Exactly.
by the time I got to midweek, I had an opportunity to feel something new in practicing the PG and bringing up the breath and activating the gland. This time, what I noticed, what I received was not just the gamma sprite of yellow, but while it was in the yellow and blasting out the white energy, it actually started to tremble. Now, I'm not talking about my hands. I'm not talking about the body. I'm talking about the visualization of the energy was trembling. It was like going, and it's really how to describe it. It itself is an entity. We're entities, but so the entity itself was trembling, like it's on the verge of something new. And I was like, oh my gosh, what's that? And it was just wonderful to watch. It didn't stay around long enough, but it was like there. And then it wafted back into the whites and then into the yellows. And then over time, it dissipates down the body because all of that energy gets felt through different parts of the body, depending on how I'm sitting at the time. And I remember some time ago in one of our past discussions, we mentioned that sometimes when the sprite hits and you're so overwhelmed, you just fall back, right? So in the process of falling back, I didn't fall back this time. The energy actually pushed me
Forward.
forward. Now, I know somebody's going to say, oh, you were probably just asleep. I wasn't asleep while it was trembling. While it was trembling. Try to sit straight while I'm doing this. But I really felt like it was pivoting me from the perineum. And because I'm not sitting in a perfectly practiced lotus, which is the position you want to sit if you could do it, because it creates this wonderful triangular base upon which our bodies are strict. But in the chair, we have degrees of freedom.
Yes,
Go back
absolutely.
and forth, sideways, depending on how your hips are situated, right?
Mhm.
You that my experience actually tipped me slightly forward from the vertical. I don't know, 10 degrees if you want a number. But from the tipping, it's almost as if the energy was looking for the easiest way down and back up, the channel down my spine. And sitting completely back wasn't it. So here's the exploration that's taking place because there are degrees of freedom that are available to you when you're sitting in a chair. What is straight? And some people think straight's like this, but the straight actually happens off the pivot point. That was a new lesson. And I'm going to see what that means for me in the subsequent weeks and see if I can just actually go to where the energy can transmit greatest so that the induction coil is at its maximum
Strength.
at its maximum strength. So I was pretty pleased with the feeling that was happening.
To me, that's also an indication, Renee, that we are being benefited by some of the chemicals that are produced. Dr. Joe says when the PG gland's activated, melatonin is going to get an upgrade. It's going to be an magical upgrade, and that produces some of these antioxidants that are super healing. And if they're going to find their pathway, they need to move you about so that their purpose can be fulfilled.
The trembling was so beautiful. The whole idea of the DMT, the hallucinogenic, it helps us to experience joy. There is an aspect that helps us to release the tight hold that we have on our physical being and to just be in love with ourselves and with connection and with life. And there perhaps through experience another opportunity to say that the PG gland has been activated and methylation has happened. I didn't have any more trembling for the rest of the week. I tried not to look for it. The whole idea is to allow. It happens when it happens. I put my hips on the chair in a different way to experience the energy going all the way up from the PG gland down to the bottom of my feet, not just the perineum, but I wanted the energy that is being transduced to flow all the way up and down. I did play with the angle of my hips in the chair. It was interesting. What came back to me was a memory almost 9 years ago. I had an opportunity to do and it wasn't really meant to be a past life regression. It was meant to assist me with moving the energy through my chakras from the root to the crown and above and below into the earth star and the sun star. And what was found was that there was a constriction in the lower chakras. And that constriction came from a past life in which I had a serious mechanical injury to the body. I was unable to move for most of that lifetime. And the only
Oh,
way to
wow.
deal with the pain of that was to disassociate from the second chakra emotions because they were causing. That's what I did at the time, or my soul did at the time, disassociate from the emotions associated with it. All I could do is just deal with the physical. And so that had to be reconnected. And so the energy coming in, I'm seeing that was what I worked on 9 years ago to reconnect that. And maybe that's why I'm sensitive to how I sit and how the energy is being moved throughout the spine from the perineum up to the PG. But yeah.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Okay. That really was my week.
Something that I wanted to bring up. One time during this week, I was listening to the album, and Dr. Joe said, change your energy, change your life. And at that moment, for some reason, it jumped out at me sitting there doing my PG practice, a new meaning, or somebody's tapping me on the shoulder. Listen to this. This is important. And I'm sitting there because my feet are tingling. My neck is almost free of pain that it's been working with for the last month or two. And I thought, change your energy, change your life. Change your energy, change your life. And it came to me that all has to do with what I accept as being true for my life. Truth is, as I know, is an individualized thing.
It's completely.
It's a perspective. It's a personal perspective. We each and every one of us, all of us on this planet Earth, have the privilege of having our own truth, and we get to add our perspectives into the greater truth. So that's why you can't say these experience is not true, because it is true for them and it's true for me. So this idea of change your energy, change your life, I immediately went to thinking about this book that we had read probably 4 years ago, of the Goddess. Do you remember that? But it was a book about the lives of various goddesses living in India.
In India, yes.
Okay.
The living ones.
Yeah. Anyway, there was one called Ma Yoga Shakti. Maybe she was sitting on my shoulder saying, change your energy, change your life. What she says is that the quality of the mind, the quality of the mind is what makes a person feel bound or liberated. Now, isn't that the same thing? Change your energy, change your life, right? Because energy is mind, mind is energy. And so how we perceive our world imprisons us or frees us. And it occurred to me then that this whole process that we've been going through is a process of liberation.
Yeah.
It's a process of liberation. So whether we get physically liberated and we feel better because of those magical melatonin supercharged antioxidants that are coursing through our bodies now, or we're feeling more released and free because we're emotionally less attached to certain things in our lives. I'd say that's been true in these 11 weeks, that there are things that I have detached from mentally and spiritually. Spiritually, of course, we've been having great new journeys happening as a result of what we've been doing. So change your energy, change your life has been pivotal in this week, especially because I'm thinking about it now, but in the entire overall week, the process of this 12 weeks.
Those are the kind of learnings that we are looking for on this journey, because you may have heard that before many times, and we've read it when we're reading Dr. Joe's book, and we've read it and heard it from different ancient spiritual teachers. The point is, when we're ready for it, we will hear it.
That's exactly right. When we are ready for it, the time, the moment, it just happens and it comes up. The rest of the week has been pretty good for me. I'm having wonderful practices. The PG gland is activated. My field of vision is expanding. One morning, I actually even saw this light. The level of light was pale, opaque, definitely lighter than the general blackness of the universal source arena. So I know that there's this infusion going on. It's been a really beautiful, vision-filled time.
And this is the benefits of consistent, continuous practice.
I believe. Totally. I believe.
Wrap up what's quick. It's about that energy pushing me forward. I think that was a big learning for me this week, to check on that, to see how I'm sitting and if I'm, and what does the energy want to do, and just to be sensitive to it and to allow it to flow.
Big learning. And of course, for me, it was that change your energy, change your life. So next week is week 12, our last week together in this video journal.
That's right. Looking forward to it.
All right. See you then.
See you then.
Please take a moment to subscribe to our channel. That way you'll be notified every time we upload a new segment in our 12-week Inspire Volume 1 video journal series. If you'd like to start your own journey, you can purchase Dr. Joe's Inspire Volume 1 10 Tracks to Master the Breath album using the direct link in the description. Happy breathing!